Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back for 12 games in 13 days at Toyota Field, starting June 10th through the 22nd. The back-to-back homestands contain 5 giveaway nights, 4 post-game fireworks shows, 2 brand-new team identities, and the in-park debut of the number 57 Trash Pandas race car. Get your tickets for the double homestand now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case.
We'll take care of it.
The Lackey Law Firm. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's tonight.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
I'm Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. You know, if you're a contractor installing fence, you need Valley Equipment Rental for augers of all sizes. And if you need a forklift to get those shingles up high on a roof, Valley Equipment has 10K lifts that reach to 56 feet. Valley also has tow-behind lifts that have a working height of 35 to 55 feet as well for power washing those 2-story homes or doing whatever else you need to do. Lifts, forklifts, tow-behind lifts, 35 feet and up. They have your lift at Valley Equipment Rental. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental.
Talking ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
And away we go here on a Wednesday, live from Baumhower's Victory Grille. If you happen to be watching on WCCN TV, there you go. That's the, I went higher on that look. I don't know if, is that approval there for you, Brian Temple?
That looks really, really good, Steve. Good job.
So my daughter told me back in the day, two kinds of photography. You got giraffe or ant. So I went giraffe right there.
Well, there you go.
Claire. So live here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. Had to twist his arm, but Drew DeArmond is here with us for the hour. How are you, Drew?
Good, Steve. How are you?
Doing real well. Not as good as the Chanticleers. Now a 26-game winning streak for Coastal Carolina.
The Chants.
I mean, they just ripped apart the latest victim, and that was Louisville.
Louisville, not Louisville.
Yeah, that's
Louisville.
Right. Got to have that jello in the mouth.
Rabbit.
It's
Rabbit. Give me more Matt Monaco, please.
11,
and more Ben McDonald.
11-3 was that final score. In fact, Coastal scored 6 in the first inning.
Well,
bottom of the first.
Yeah, they did. They were ready to roll. I mean, they've stayed in the winner's bracket. They pitched really well. You know,
a 26-game winning streak for Coastal. And of course, Auburn fans may not want me to bring it up, but I mean,
there's no shame in losing to Coastal.
No.
I mean, that first game, Auburn made a heck of a comeback. And then they, after the rain delay, I thought they were going to win the game. But Coastal does what they do. They didn't make defensive mistakes. They got a big home run, and they were able to win it 7-6. And then to be blunt, and Jason Caldwell will tell you this, Brian Matthews, people that I trust, I watched it. Coastal just was the better team and just whipped them in the second game.
That second game, I watched a lot of that second game. Honestly, after the rain delay, I was gone. I was sleeping.
Yeah, I just thought, Auburn needed to win that first game, needed to get it to a game 3.
And the fact that they got it into extras, you would think that they would have the extra. The upper advantage.
But the Chants, they never should have been seeded 13th, first of all. I know they only play in the Sun Belt Conference, but they should have been a top 5 or 6 seed. They should have been hosting the Supers. Auburn shouldn't have had to play. But the NCAA committee, they never learn this stuff. Just because a team like the Chanticleers is not in a Power 4 conference, they should be treated differently. Eventually, Gonzaga was in basketball.
Fine, but
maybe if they do this and complete it for the second time, maybe the Chants will start being treated differently. You know what I'm saying?
2016, they're
because I mean, they have football now, and they have all the major sports. And our good friend Cliff Ellis was the longtime basketball coach. That's where he ended his career.
They've got the teal field.
Yeah, the Cliff Dwellers moved to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And so, but again, and of course, what would help them is if they were picked up by a bigger league. Maybe they will be. Maybe it will raise their profile enough, and all this, with all this conference realignment. I mean, I'll just say this. The Big 12 could use them in some of their athletics is all I can say.
Well, I mean, the ACC.
Or the ACC. I mean, at this rate, with the way the basketball's tanking, except for the Blue Devils. But, but again, the Chants are just they play baseball the right way. I enjoy watching them compete. And
Alabama beat them early in the season.
That's what I was going to say. Alabama was 1-0 against the Chants. So I don't want to hear, well, we just don't have enough NIL money to compete with all these teams. Shut up and watch the Chants. They don't have a ton of NIL money, okay? Do you think they had more NIL money than Louisville or all these other teams they played? No. And they've won 26 games in a row because you build it the right way and you hire the right coaches. In baseball, it's different. It's not like basketball and football, okay?
Yeah.
Look at Murray State. I know they went 0-2 barbecue, but they could really swing it. And by the way, I think I mentioned this on another show. It may have been last week on the Blitz. But the number one starter for the Murray State Racers this year was from just down the road. He was the Motlow State Community College's number one starter and was started by Murray State. And so, again, and Murray State, I watched them throughout the playoff. Right? Man, they get swinging.
Yeah.
I mean, they were a really
watched
good
a lot of the
team.
The regional in Oxford.
Which it would even more spectacular to me what he did with the 19 strikeouts and the no-hitter.
Well, but tonight, Arkansas, LSU. So the one part of LSU that has not cropped up, and it has cropped up from time to time. We certainly saw it when they went 0-3 against Auburn earlier in the year. Sometimes their offense goes into the witness protection program. But we have not seen that in maybe a little over a month.
They go kind of how Jared Jones goes, and he swung the bat well in the last game. First game, he went 0 for 5 with 5 Ks, but they still found a way to win. But the lineup's probably not as deep as when they had Dylan Cruz and the studs up and down the lineup 2023, and then some kid named Skeens, throwing 100 on the mound that costs a lot of money from Air Force. But again, that was a great LSU team. This is a really good LSU team. I still like Arkansas.
Do you really?
I picked before the tournament started, as far as the college
Is Anderson
series.
going tonight? I don't know.
I was going to say, you need to look up Ianson would be more likely for LSU than him, because he only pitched about, I think he threw 40-plus pitches the other night before it rained.
Yeah.
Anderson would be held out, I think, either for the game on Thursday or if they get to the championship series. But I think it would probably be the game on Thursday. So we will see. Or they might hold Ianson out for that game on Thursday. Well, even Ben McDonald. Who knows college baseball?
Yes, he does.
And LSU.
Well, I was about to say, he knows LSU pretty good.
He thinks, much like we saw where Anderson and Ianson kind of tag teamed in a game in Hoover, that Ianson may be used to close the game tonight and not to start it. But if things go south, you hold him out to start the next game, because you do have an extra game if you're LSU.
You do.
So we will see. But before the College World Series started, when they had the 8 teams on the Blitz, I picked Coastal and I picked Arkansas. I'm still going to stick with that. I think Arkansas has a deep pitching staff. And so as of the end of the Shots game, I don't think either squad had given away what they were going to do on the mound. We can check now. That game will be underway at 6 o'clock Central Time. But it's going to be interesting.
So here's what happened last night. For those of you that may have called in, so the Braves game started in a rain delay.
Right.
It started in a rain delay. So I decided to flip over to the UCLA Arkansas game.
I enjoyed that, by the way, because at the time the Braves were getting whacked.
I did too. But then in the back of my mind, I was thinking, okay, at the end of this game, I can flip over to the Braves. And then I keep forgetting that College World Series games are not Major League Baseball games.
No.
So 6:30 was the start time for the Arkansas LSU game or Arkansas UCLA game last night. Braves started at 7:10 Central, and I'm telling you, that game, the Braves game, finished in extra innings before the Arkansas win last night.
Well, listening to the Shots today, put away Louisville. I mean, it was a long game. I mean, it didn't. It started at 1, Steve, and it didn't end until 4:45.
Yes, I was watching it here at Baumhower's. So in case you missed it,
bearded right-hander Garrett looking into his catcher Alvarez and nods. Meanwhile, Ozuna, spitting sunflower seeds, steadies his bat. Awaits the pitch. And the 2-2. Swung on and whistled down the left field line. This is going to be big. In to score Allen. In to score Acuna. Here comes Verdugo. And he will score. The game is tied. 3 RBI double by Ozuna as he just lit the fuse and whistled one down the left field line.
So the game is tied. The game is tied. Then we have to rely on our bullpen with the
right.
And then Juan Soto got on base, got on first with a solid base hit, and I'm thinking, great, here we go again.
Alonso has grounded into a dozen double plays this season. One of those right here would be nice. And he lifts one to deep right. Going back now, Acuna to the warning track. Ronald jumps up and he reels it in. Now they throw to first and they double off Soto. It's a double play by Acuna from deep right field. Outstanding play by Ronald to make the catch, and then Soto was asleep at the switch.
Thank goodness he was asleep at the switch.
Well, if I had been Ben Ingram on that call, I might have called him one Soto in the rain because he's dumb as a stump.
Because they showed another angle of it, and the first base coach is doing like waving him back, like, "What are you doing?
But
Come
he
on
makes $50
back."
million, so you think he's going to listen to some first base coach? This is where you play lollygaggers from Bull Durham.
Bull Durham.
They just turned 37 years old this week. 37 years old.
So, in case you missed it, a little therapy for all Braves fans last night. In extras.
Big crowd, over 36,000, and the pitch swung on, lifted into center field and deep. On the run, Taylor. That's going to be deep enough. He makes the catch right up against the wall, but tagging and scoring and winning are the Atlanta Braves. Austin Riley put a charge in one and almost hit it out of here in a deep sac fly, and the Braves walk it off in an amazing comeback win against the Mets.
Down 4-1, as Joe Simpson is referencing right there. I mean, I was watching. I was actually, you talk about, listen, I know for a lot of people, maybe Stanley Cup Finals not high on your to-do list, or College World Series, but I was rolling around pretty good. Watching the Braves game, watching the Stanley Cup Final, watching the College World Series. It was rather entertaining flipping through the channels last night in mid-June. So,
as my good friend and you've been a frequent guest in college baseball season, Will Miller of Bama Central, a.k.a. Sports Illustrated, and also a Braves aficionado. And we've been into each other via text all season. But he alerted me last night and said, best win of the season. My response was, I hate Xfinity. I wish I could have watched it.
Hang in there.
And then his response, I have FUBU. And it's not the close.
Wow, that's an old school reference too, as well, right there.
And a friend of mine has FUBU as well, and that's how I watched the Braves when I did the dog sitting situation.
There you go.
That was a nice weekend being able to actually watch the Braves.
Well, so they do have it hooked up at the studio.
Right.
Worst case scenario, you can go into the studio and watch the Braves. How about that?
Well, but it was the biggest win of the year. I hope it can create some momentum.
Well, Chris Sale's on the mound tonight, and we'll see what happens. Let me check the old radar, the handy-dandy radar.
It rain. I never could tell it was raining, but Matt Monaco of the College World Series, who's much better than Carl Ravitch, was telling us that it was raining rather hard at times during the game, but they never stopped it. By the end of the game, the sun was back out, so we will see.
You tell me. We're going to play some Braves baseball. I mean, I know the Trash Pandas are in a situation. And by the way, I'm going to look at this radar right now, the Doppler 5000. Anyway, it's from the National Weather Service. But I will tell you, they were supposed to start a doubleheader. Brian, do you know if they're Are they still in a rain delay over there at Toyota
They're
Field?
still in a rain delay right now. Where, the Ford Op Radio Network is on the case and watching out for it. They don't expect it to last very long, so we'll let you know when they get back there.
Well, I will tell you from the Doppler 5000, there is a red is bad, right?
It's
red
real bad.
Yeah,
That is
there
very
is
bad.
a
Very
red
bad.
cell right along 565, just trucking on over from Decatur to Huntsville.
Well, as I was driving down the Parkway, it's rained earlier today because it's
rained every day.
Yeah, I'll send it to you in just a second. But one of the funniest memes I've seen on Facebook is Creedence Clearwater Revival saying, "When I wonder who's going to stop the rain."
It's a great tune.
Yeah, and then the answer is, in Alabama, we seen it.
Yeah.
You know,
feels like we created it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, over Yellow Submarine, I've used that one on a few occasions.
Yep.
You know.
So if you happen to be out in Madison, or if you're flipping back, especially if you've got an HD radio, then you'll listen to Josh Carey on the play-by-play call there as their series against Chattanooga continues over on Talk Radio WZZN. So the conclusion of the conference commissioners happened today up in Asheville, North Carolina.
Beautiful city, the future home, and now he actually has already moved in over there, Braden Rivers.
Oh, that's right. UNC Asheville.
Yes.
Also home to my in-laws as well.
Beautiful city.
Yes, I have visited that town quite frequently over the last handful of years.
The D League days.
Oh, yeah, the
before it was the G
altitude.
League.
Yeah, I remember the Asheville altitude. There is no direct way to Asheville, North Carolina.
It's elevated.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Back
it is.
then, there wasn't a whole lot of online shopping either, so used to get some Duke gear over there.
John Talty was a guest on the Feinbaum program to give his 2 cents on the SEC Big Ten relationship possibly in trouble.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to someone from the Big Ten side of things recently, and this person told me that that the relationship with the SEC is great. They're very aligned. The further away from the actual football-related stuff it is, and so the closer that we get to, whether it's transfer portal, NIL rules, now the playoff format stuff, that the closer they get to the actual heart of football and the action is when they seem to kind of diverge in that regard. So, I think that's what this is so fascinating, Paul, is that we went from these two kind of being opposed. I think better probably than anybody that there's a healthy respect between Mike Clive and Jim Delaney, but they're on opposite sides plenty of times. And here you have this kind of superpower that got built, this new power too, between Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti with the Big Ten and SEC. Will it actually accomplish anything? We know that the biggest thing so far that this new tandem has gotten done is they wrestled away a large chunk of the future CFP revenue, the combined getting 58%. We thought they were going to ram through a format change. That can still happen. They can certainly, by the end of this week, more meetings, they can get back aligned. But right now, it feels like the most likely outcome could be just status quo, that they cannot be fully aligned in terms of what they want. And if that happens, then you might see 2026 stay the same. Of course, we know that there's already been some tweaks to it, the straight seeding stuff, but could stick to 12 teams and might see how that plays out and see, as they study things more and figure out is there a solution for them to get back on the same side. But it's a marriage that felt very strong a couple of weeks ago, and it's not broken. I think there's still good faith efforts to keep it together, but it certainly feels a lot wobblier right now here in mid-June than it did when I saw you down in Destin a few weeks ago.
Wobblier, and it's hinged on one thing and one. Well, he didn't go there, but I'm going there. 9 conference games.
Well, like I say, man, they're going to have to agree on the playoff model first, and I still think it's going to be that 5-11. I don't think it'll ever be the 4-4-2.
Yeah.
I can't see the Big 12 even though they stink, and I can't, and I can't see the ACC agreeing to that. I just can't, because in theory, the 5-11 model gives both those leagues a chance to get more teams. Should they? No, because I think they're going to get the hell beat out of them. And I think if you have a legit process with how you evaluate strength of schedule and conference, they'll be lucky to get one and maybe two. But that's just the way it's going to have to work until they get better. And so it is what it is. I go back to something Josh Pate posted a few weeks ago. The SEC and the Big Ten are going to trick the rest of college football into approving this 5-11 model. And I think that's probably going to be the compromise to me. And then the SEC will go to 9 games. I've always felt like it was inevitable.
Yeah.
Because I go back to something Greg Byrne has said and other SEC, power brokers. You got to put butts in the seats, man. Nobody wants to come see Alabama play Mercer. No disrespect. Or Auburn play West Carolina. I'm just coming up with scenarios. They would rather see a 9th SEC game to get butts in the seats, to spend money on the tickets, for parking, for luxury suites, for food, all that stuff. And then the hotels in the area, which affects the city, everything, restaurants, local stuff. Get people to come watch in person. And not, I'm going to sell my tickets and watch it on the SEC network.
So this is as of 57 minutes ago. Ross Dellinger tweets out, he is in Asheville as well, asked if both the SEC and Big Ten must agree on a format for it to move forward. Rich Clark, who is the new executive director of the College Football Playoff, suggests that, yes, the parties must come to an agreement together, and other parties, but those are the two biggest cogs that must come together. The SEC and the Big Ten, as wobbly, not my word, but John Talty's word, as wobbly as the relationship is, these two still need to work together before we ultimately know the answer. The deadline is December 1st, but people that I trust, that I text with, are believing that there might be some news before the season starts, that they do not want this to, be a cloud over this season coming up this fall.
That's just
and that'd be the best.
It's like bluffing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what the December.
It's good
1st
to have a deadline. It's good to have a deadline. But even a deadline doesn't mean yes, it's going to happen by December 1st. Deadlines move. And
that's why it'll be a 16-team playoff and not a 14-team, because that's why I said the 5-11 format. Because it gives the
you don't think 12. This is the last year of the 12.
Yeah, this will be it, and then they'll move to 16 because they just don't. First of all, more money because of more teams involved, but it gives the Big 12 and the ACC, in theory, more slots to try to get teams in, and even a group of 4, group of 5 representatives.
You'll enjoy this as well. Dellinger also tweets out an hour ago, Rich Clark describes his presentation to the commissioners as metric recommendations to the selection committee criteria, which includes help from a mathematician from Google.
Oh God, we have one of those. We got the matrix system here in Huntsville. No.
Well, that's the Collie
matrix. Yeah,
Collie matrix.
Do I agree with it most of the time? Absolutely not. But I mean, hell, they used it during the BCS era.
Yes, they did. I'm almost afraid. Every once in a while, I'll look it up, and Wes will say, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" The Collie matrix. Let's see here. Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Notre Dame 3, Texas 4, Penn State 5, Georgia 6, Indiana 7, BYU 9, Illinois 9. BYU 8, Illinois 9. I can't read. Boise State 10, Iowa State 11. Whereas Alabama ends up 15th in the Collie matrix. This is last year's final rankings. LSU 17, Ole Miss 18, South Carolina 19. Yeah, Dr. Collie, we've got a problem. We have got a problem because we've had Dr. Collie on in the past where He explained his formula to us.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that. But anyway.
I'd have been saying Houston, I have a problem.
The CFP will begin player availability injury reports starting next season, what we had in the Southeastern Conference last year. So that is coming from the CFP. That is something, that is some news.
TAs, and so is, I mean, look, man, the way this is ultimately going to be decided to me, and everything's about timing, too. We've had a change in leadership in our country for the good of everyone, in my opinion.
Are we going to get spring drills in June?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But I just think overall what's coming is you have a president now. He's got a lot on his plate, but he's been a professional sports owner before. He's very sports oriented. One of the things he's going to get fixed in these 4 years is collegiate athletics. There will be a revenue sharing collective bargaining agreement. They're going to have to get the federal government involved. I mean, everybody keeps saying, "Oh, there's going to be all these lawsuits and all this stuff." Look, that's all. Those are going to be frivolous. Eventually, there's going to have to be some sort of collective bargaining. There just has to be, because we all talk about it all the time, going toward the pro sports model. What happened in pro sports? That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and eventually it's just going to have to even out the playing field, and they'll still be under the table stuff going on. But I'm going to be honest with you. But look, most of the time it blows up. If you're a Texas A&M fan, you've had your head in the toilet your entire life.
I have the same amount of national championships as
Owen Buchanan.
Had a good long conversation with Olin down on the beach.
Yeah, I'm glad you still talk to him. I don't.
No, you not.
For obvious reasons.
Only 1 hour here.
It was his fault.
Only 1 hour here at Baumhower's Victory Grill. Oh, they're all. So the other thing that I was watching, it's popping up on SportsCenter. This is my last moment of the show, where both the Padres and the Dodgers were throwing at each other last night. So they decided to throw at Shohei Ohtani. Yeah. And all of a sudden, Dave Roberts just got out of the bullpen, or got out of the dugout and was just like, "Hey, can I talk? Can I talk?
Hey,
can I talk?"
Speaking of that, like this, I think this popped up.
I loved it, by the way. That was old school baseball.
This is speaking more old school. This popped up. And this brought me back to things I miss all the time, because as I said this morning when I was ranting about my Xfinity situation, I said and missing Ted Turner, I was like, if they were still on Turner, I could watch every game. And and the thing that popped up on Facebook memories the other day or whatnot, somebody, I believe that's where it was, and I had, I was very young when this happened. I don't even remember it, but I got a chance to watch the entirety of it, all the highlights. Mm-hmm. That brawl with the Braves and the Padres.
Yeah, that was great. That was 86.
I remember seeing a game with like 4 or 5 separate fights. Right. And the Padres were down to the fourth manager.
So I remember watching that, and then they replayed it like over. Right. And Skip was like breaking down who was winning what fight. I remember that vividly. It was great. It was great.
I mean, it was unbelievable. I think the fans got involved.
Yes. Yeah, because back then, you could just walk up and walk right into Fulton County Stadium and participate in a fight.
Yeah, these are not the salad days of
no. But on a Braves note, I did hear Alex Anthopoulos. He was on 680 The Fan today.
Kind of ripped him this morning, but what did he say?
He said that they are buyers, not sellers.
Yeah.
But, I mean, honestly, what do you expect to hear from a general manager?
Well, I blame the problems this year much more on him than Still.
The bullpen.
I get a little irritated because all a manager can do is put the players that he had on his squad in position to try to win.
Yeah.
And I don't think Anthopoulos did a great job this year, with the pieces that he added. Of course, he didn't realize Jurickson Profar was going to get suspended 80 games and things of that nature. But still, I don't think he did a very good job with the bullpen. And I think it was obvious early in the season that Rysell, it's closer.
Looked good last night.
I still think his best role maybe as a setup guy.
I'm hoping he may have turned a corner in Milwaukee. Anyway, I'm hoping, but looked good last night.
And I agree with David O'Brien of The Athletic. Just like, stop. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
you've got to help this bullpen and stop just getting these cast-offs. There's a reason they're being released.
Yeah.
And I still don't understand the Kimbrel situation. I would like some explanation on that.
In fact,
why he didn't get more.
So Chris Domino put it out, hey, we're going to talk to Alex Anthopoulos. So I texted him. I would love to know why Kimbrel was one and done, and he has not responded to me.
Yeah,
so clearly I'm going to have to call Chris Domino and just –
and of course, part of that's the tie here. But I mean, I don't understand it. But the Braves have got to be better. And then they've had some bad luck. I mean, Acuna's come back like gangbusters.
Oh my goodness, great!
But Harris has been awful. He's not had a good year at all.
He's been very up and down.
Moulton has been streaky.
Yeah.
And and then now Drake Baldwin's been a godsend. But I'm on the wagon. Like a lot of people
I think there's two big holes. And you know what? I'll answer him after our first time out.
But see, Ozuna, he's had his issues during his time in Atlanta, but he has come back and played up to his contract. But his contract is done. So to me, I'm not on the wagon of, we got to trade Sean Murphy in the offseason because you need two catchers, and then you can DH one and then catch the other.
No,
I don't think they should be trying to trade Sean Murphy. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, no.
Unless you got somebody else in the minor leagues that you think is really good, but they let Travis d'Arnaud go. He's getting up there in age. But Murphy, to me, that would be a mistake.
Let's go ahead and take our first time out. Only 1 hour walking up to Braves baseball, we hope. We hope. If not, we'll head over to
LSU. Mike Monaco. I love Mike Monaco.
Let's head off to a timeout. We'll be back here live from Baumhower's Victory Grille.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All good things must come to an end. That holds true for employee pricing, too. Hey, folks, Bobby White back again from Woody Anderson Court. The last day for employee pricing is going to be July 7th. Up until then, you can buy the new Ford you want and pay what we pay. We've got nearly 150 F-150s to choose from, generous finance rate, and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck, 48 years old. We've got over 60 to choose from. Full-size Bronco, we've got over 40. New equipment for Ford Expedition and all come to an end. Last day for employee pricing is July 7th. Time to get it and get it. Pricing will save you up. There's a good chance. It's important to see us before July 7th.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
John Abraham here from The Blitz. Look, I love a good party, so why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available. So don't miss out, as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bono's Land.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Yeah, I know, but was it still auto-tune? Yeah, that's why I clicked on. I didn't auto-tune.
That is the final call there from TNT last night, as the best way I've heard it put was earlier today. Steve Levy called it a 6-game sweep for the Florida Panthers, and that is the best way I've heard it put because the numbers are pretty staggering. As we welcome you back here to Baumhower's Victory Grill, the Florida Panthers led 747 minutes and 34 seconds of the Stanley Cup final. That is the third most by one team, behind the 08 Red Wings, Dan, the 98 Red Wings.
Yeah.
So it was just, as you heard Kenny Albert point out right there on the call, domination.
Well,
just Panthers perfection.
The more stunning thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, but is Edmonton the last?
No, Montreal is the last team.
So Montreal did win it.
They did, 93.
I'm not a hockey person.
I know. But
what is stunning is part of those what they call the Big Six. And it was, because, look, we all know when they started the NHL, it was dominated by Canadian hockey.
Yeah.
A Canadian hockey team hasn't won it since 93.
Yeah, Montreal, yeah.
And I was even thinking going back to the 80s to Wayne Gretzky, Messier, and
that was kind of their heyday.
Yeah.
Was mid-80s.
And I know Calgary had some good teams, but I don't believe – did the Flames win one in the early 90s?
Yeah, yes, they did.
I was thinking, I was going to say Edmonton, but I said, but I think Calgary won it as well.
They did.
And I know
Montreal
dominated with the Yankees early, but then
that's the last one.
But Montreal hadn't won one since 93.
93.
And so wow, that's the last Canadian franchise to win an NHL title.
Consecutive 30-point seasons. 30-point postseasons in NHL history.
Right.
Now, Draisaitl and McDavid have their names etched there, but it is topped by some guy named Gretzky, who did it for 30 straight seasons, as you're mentioning right here, 83 to 85. So congratulations. And I love how clever some people can get, because now with the Lightning have gone back-to-back earlier here in the 20s, and then now the Panthers, they're calling the Gulf of America now the Gulf of Hockey. So we'll see whether or not that will stick there with the Gulf of Hockey. 256-576-4977. The telephone number. I was going to tell you at least this is why he's not joining us. Frank Coors is on the pregame show. But Jeff,
well, of course. I mean, he
priorities. Anyway, on the subject of the Braves,
I miss him. Can't see him either.
He's on the call tonight on the television side.
Right.
You can watch it right here at Baumhower's Victory Grill.
Mm-hmm.
It is at shortstop. To me, shortstop is a big hole.
Well, I like Nick Allen early. I thought he was making some contact and playing really solid defense. But let's be honest, he's hitting in the 220s. It's just you can't have that. You got to have somebody, and Arcia gave him one really good year, the first year of his contract, and then he fell off. That's why it was really disappointing. Okay, after the championship. Because I really thought he was coming into his own and into his prime. I was really hoping they would find a way to get Dansby signed for another 5 years or so. And
he's having a really good year with the Cubs.
That's what I mean, just to play the rest of his career pretty much as an Atlanta Brave.
Yeah.
Because, he's a Vandy guy. I believe he's from Georgia.
Yep.
So it would have been I always liked his game. I always thought he stepped it up in the postseason. I really was bothered by that departure and Freddie Freeman. Now, of course, they got Matt Olson, who's a really good player in his own right.
That's worked out really well for both the Dodgers and the
Braves. Now they've got to figure something out with shortstop because they decided to give up on Vaughn Grissom early.
Yeah, they did.
And then trade him. And so
I have not seen Nacho's numbers, but I know they've been kind of leaning on Nacho.
Yeah.
But let me look that up. But he could potentially be – but, you'd figure.
So here's my question, though. If you're Alex Anthopoulos, the draft is coming up in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They've been leaning lately more toward college players who are quick risers.
Yeah.
Do you address shortstop in the draft, or do you look to try in either a free agency or a trade to address it and get a frontline shortstop? That's the biggest question.
Yeah. I'm guessing Nacho is hurt because he has 14 at-bats.
Yeah.
So this year.
Right.
So
that's my question for Alex Anthopoulos. How do you address shortstop? Right now, the bigger question is the bullpen, but I'm talking about long term.
Yeah.
How do you, especially going into next year? Because here's what I expect. I expect Ozzie Albies to bounce back. Okay, he's had a crap year.
Yeah.
But I know he's a legit ball player. I've seen enough. All right, and then you have Acuna, who can be the best player in the game and who can carry you. I expect Michael Harris to bounce back. He's a Gold Glove center fielder.
His defense is spot on.
These things happen, okay?
Yep.
And to be honest with you, it all kind of evens out because he had a meteoric rise up the minor, the minor leagues.
They did.
And he was a high school signee who ended up who was known more almost as a pitcher. So he's still coming into his own. I expect him to bounce back. Now, if you can have I'm going to have to call it an Ozuna from now on, an Ozuna type turnaround from Profar, which means he comes up and produces.
Yeah.
Then you're, in my opinion, you've got your outfield set. Okay, you already know that Austin Riley, and he's still having a pretty good year. He's a cornerstone of your franchise at third base. You're not going to trade Olsen. He's under a long-term contract. To me, you have catcher solved already. Okay, so the bigger questions for me are bullpen and finding a shortstop. That's what I think the Braves need to do. Those are the two biggest holes.
Because keep in mind, if the Braves do go on a heater, Jerks and Profar not eligible for the postseason. So that is something else to keep in mind.
Okay, we understand that. But here's the thing, and I don't pay it close enough attention. You might be able to Google it. Hell, you can Google anything. Are there going to be any frontline shortstops that are free agents? Because a couple of years ago, there was Trey Turner, who had ties to the Braves organization that people thought, well, he ended up a Brave, and he had killed the Braves during his career, with the Washington Nationals. But we all know what happened.
Yep.
He ended up with the Phillies.
Yep.
And so And so he's under a long-term contract. So are there any frontline shortstops that are going to be free agents? Or are you going to have to address it in a trade? So, they were able to get Sean Murphy in a trade and then sign him to a deal. And I still say it's a good deal. It's $15 million a year. I don't think they should be looking to move him. I know Bill Shanks has kind of talked about them trying to move him in the offseason. I wouldn't move him because, again, you don't know. Drake Baldwin may have some bumps in the road eventually. So to me, I got both of them. I got my catch solved. All right. So but you need to address shortstop via either trade or free agency, and then you've got to address the bullpen.
Yeah. Well, the good news is, to me, when you take a look at the Braves' schedule on the bigger side of things, the toughest part at the NL West is just brutal. It just is what it is, with the exception of the Rockies. With the exception of the Rockies, everybody in there is just kind of eating each other up. And now that you've got Devers getting picked up by the Giants as well, he immediately paid some dividends the other night as well with a double and an RBI. But it's a case where I think, my opinion, is the Braves have gone through the toughest part of their schedule already, and the back half is easier without any West Coast trips.
Well, here's the deal, man. I just remember how the Braves addressed shortstop several years ago. Remember, Dansby was the number 1 overall pick in the draft, the Braves got him in a trade with the Diamondbacks before he ever really got his career started with the D-backs.
Yeah.
So is that how the Braves do it? Do they identify a young prospect that they think has a chance to be a comer that they can get on there, that they can get via trade, and then they can get him under a controllable contract like they did with Ozzie Albies and Ronald Acuna, where the
Braves are 32-39, 12 games back of the Mets. They still are playing the Mets 6 more times over the next week and a half. So there is an opportunity. The Phillies, they're playing everybody inside the division for the Braves right here over the next couple of weeks. So this is a big time in terms of what the team is going to look like at the end of July. It's like what I was talking about with Ben Ingram. I don't want to put too much on this series because it's still mid-June, but it definitely feels like if the Braves can get on a heater and there's no better person to hand the ball over to than a Cy Young Award winner, and Chris Sale coming up here tonight.
Yeah, but like I said, man, they need another Rafael Furcal or they traded for Dansby right after he was drafted. They need something like that to happen. Identify a young shortstop that's, that they, if they don't feel like there's one in their minor league system, because again, I was a little surprised that they moved Grissom as fast as they did.
Yeah, there must have been something, because we were all expecting that for Vaughn Grissom to be the guy, and then it turned into
Arcia for 3 years.
Yeah. And then now he is with the Colorado Rockies. So,
God bless him.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
Well, and the thing with Arcia is, I thought he was a good player, but I thought he was more of a guy that was a utility guy, which should have been someone giving a guy a day off.
Arcia was playing first, to your point, in one of the games in Atlanta over the weekend. Yeah, he was playing first base.
Yeah.
So, just – but the Rockies are a completely different situation. So,
but the Braves are top 10 in payroll. Okay,
so I think 12th.
Well, what I'm saying is usually. I guess I should have prefaced this by saying when you usually look at it, they have revenue. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't expect them to re-sign him. Ozuna's contract is up. And so
I think it's next year. I think it's not.
I think it's this year, but you can check on that. I thought this year was his option that they picked up, and then I think he would be done. But
I know we definitely have Harris, and we definitely have Austin Riley.
Yes, they're all signed to contracts, man.
Acuna.
Yeah,
I think though that the core, I want to say, is in set till 28, I think.
And then Murphy's under contract, and Baldwin will be on a rookie deal. But, Olsen, they've signed them all to long-term contracts, just about all those guys. But from the standpoint of in the lineup. But I was thinking that the 20 million or so, 16 to 20 million that
You're right. This is the last year of his. This is the fifth year.
His contract comes off of the book.
Yeah,
and if you can take Sean Murphy and Drake Baldwin and DH and catch those two guys, you can invest that money into a shortstop via trade or via free agency. If there's a frontline player, that's why I don't know who's going to be the frontline free agents. I don't have a clue. I haven't checked on it, but going into this coming winter, but I would wonder, like, who would the Braves' targets potentially be via trade or free agency? Because I'll be honest with you, the Heymans of the world and all those guys and the Rosenthals, you could tell the Braves early on were looking at Murphy when he was with the Oakland A's. That was leaked out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to correct me if I'm wrong, I know that sometimes the Blue Jays spend money, but don't they have Bichette at shortstop? Is he not the,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes they cut payroll. I'm just trying to find a match here.
Yeah. No, let's see here. Standings wise, Blue Jays 39 and 33. They're not going to be selling.
I don't expect it this year. I'm talking about in the off season.
Yeah. Well, no. I want a shortstop help.
I know. I know.
Now.
I'm not
That's what I
expecting
want.
it.
I want
I'm
shortstop
not
help
expecting it.
right
now. I've already written this season off as a disaster.
It's definitely a different feel from 21 to 25. But keep in mind that the Braves were under 500 for the longest time in 21. I believe it was mid-August when they finally got on their heater and never let off the gas pedal.
Well, I got a message from our own Freddie Kirby saying, I thought Adames had signed with a long-term deal with, because he had been with, didn't he go?
I'd have to look at it. I don't know that off the top of my head.
We said something about Ha-Seong Kim, but I thought Adames had signed a long-term contract. Yeah, I didn't think he signed just a one-year deal, but maybe he did in the off season. And he said Adames is having a horrendous year, batting .220 with 4 homers.
He ain't the only one.
Yeah, but
man, it feels like home run or strikeout.
Well, to me, I still think if the Braves were going to address it, that obviously was what happened last night.
We are way late for a break. This is our Tom Abraham break here. Let's go ahead and take our final.
I'm sorry, Steve.
Yes.
It's time to go for it.
It's time to take a break. This is what happens when we're talking Braves baseball.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Bill here from my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team takes great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhower here. We're extremely proud that Baumhower's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhower's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Your Fox 54 weather, brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
A few lingering showers expected for this Wednesday night. Low temperatures going to be falling into the low 70s for the overnight. Heading into our Thursday, scattered showers and thunderstorms return in the afternoon. High temperatures once again reaching the upper 80s. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long.
Deep to left field. Back goes Edsel. Like a tomato, ketchup squished it.
Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN.
All right, short time here, and just for you, Jordy Armin.
Here we go.
Your favorite basketball player, LeBron James.
LaFraud, as I posted on X today.
He is in a new ad campaign for Amazon.
Does he talk about himself?
You're going to love this. Brian, you're going to love this too.
Okay.
Are the retirement rumors true? What's next?
Glad. Late. Market. Bank.
What's the move?
There you go, King.
Huh.
I've been waiting for this moment. Oh, my Lord. Oh, Lord.
I've been waiting for him to retire. I could say that.
Yes.
I think it lost something in translation.
Little cover there late for In the Air Tonight.
I feel sorry for Young MC and Phil Collins.
Getting paid. They are getting paid.
Well, they are.
Well, they're paying with American money, so I'm sure it's.
And Young MC, you could argue, was a one-hit wonder or one album wonder.
Is he now old MC? I mean,
I'm not going to go there with it, because then I felt old. Because that was from my childhood.
I know. I am too.
Right.
I mean, that's Braves and Metropolitans come up next.
I'll quote Bill Shanks, beat the Mutts.
It gave me a little bit of hope last night. A little bit. But we'll see
how. Shout out
how.
to Brandon Pilcher being here.
Yes, absolutely. Good to see Brandon here at Baumhower's. You can be here as well. If there's any rain issues, we'll go to LSU, Arkansas. I got LSU tonight.
Go Hogs.
Oh, that's right. You're Woo Pig over here.
All good things must come to an end.
That holds true for employee pricing too. Hey folks, it's Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. The last day for employee pricing is going to be July 7th. Up until then, you can buy the new Ford you want.